Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong bond, gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit draws near. Let's sing together. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near. We'll start with this side over here. I'll lead this side over here so we can create a round together. 1, 2, ready, go. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in the struggles of the body. Spirit, draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, together. Gathered here in the mystery of the body, gathered here in the struggles of the body. Spirit, draw the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Danbury. I'm Nancy Hershatter. My pronouns are she, her, and Hershatter, and I'm this morning's Sunday Service Coordinator. Please silence your phones if you haven't done so already. And also be sure to check the order of service for announcements, including 2 about today's coffee hour activities. And also on your chairs, you will find flyers about next Sunday, a week from today, the next Music at the Ridge concert. And if you feel so moved to put up a flyer at Caroluzzi's or a library, we would deeply appreciate that. During all of our music today, you're invited to rise in body or in spirit, to sit, stand, dance, kneel, sway, clap, move, or be still in the ways that your mind and your body and spirit call you to do. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one small body, gathered here
As we settle in, let's respectfully acknowledge that we are in the traditional lands of the Pukwesset people, and that as a people of faith, we are still learning about how we might live differently knowing this. Let's say the words of our children's affirmation, which are on the screen, and Maisie will lead us.
We are Unitarian Universalists. We are people with open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. We care for the earth and each other.
Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing. Show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing. Show to us beauty, vision, and joy.
We make this time in this place holy simply by being together with each other. And we begin by lighting the flaming chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist tradition. Please, let's join Maisie in reciting the words on the screen as Sierra Marie will light our chalice.
Of this congregation,
And justice is its light. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek and speak the truth in love, to help one another and celebrate life.
Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing. Show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing. Show to us beauty, vision, and joy.
Invite Edie and Margie up. And once you stand over here, come in front of the, just come right over here. Okay. So this year we've been learning about how our friend Jet Pig got their code name. So far we have J, you want to point to the J, is for justice. E for equity. And T for transformation. And if you've looked at the title of our service, you already know our next letter. So it is P for pluralism. Valuing pluralism means believing that differences are something to celebrate and learn from. We are so lucky that we are not all the same. So, Marge, what kind of symbol did Jet Pig bring us to represent pluralism? A little bell. Will you ring that bell for us? So Jet Pig brought a little bell for us to ring to remind us to listen to one another and learn from one another as we celebrate our differences. Okay, so you can leave these things here and have a seat. Some religions are about sharing certain beliefs, and people figure it out if they're part of the same religion by asking others if they share those beliefs. How many people here have ever had someone try to do this by asking you if you believe in God? Anyone ever ask you that? Yeah, me too. Including on the playground when I was a kid. And sometimes people try to figure out what kind of religion others are by asking them about what their church or their congregation believes. They might say, in your church, do you believe, fill in the blank. Okay, those kinds of questions are tricky for Unitarian Universalists because we don't define our religion by what we believe. We define our religion by the covenants that we make together, promises about how we want to live together. We are a spiritually pluralistic tradition. That means that we celebrate differences in what we believe about things like God or gods or goddesses and humans and what happens after we die and the meaning of sacred texts like Bibles or the Quran or the Bhagavad Gita. In this community, different people have different beliefs. And part of what makes our religion what it is that we commit to celebrating that. In fact, you might meet a Unitarian Universalist who also has practices that make them a Christian, a pagan, or a Muslim, or any number of things. Someone can be a Unitarian Universalist and Hindu, or Unitarian Universalist and Jewish. When we come together, we bring all of that with us and celebrate it and learn from each other. So this morning, let's make our altar a celebration of our religious pluralism, this space right here, a celebration of our many religious beliefs, ideas, and practices, those that we came from, as well as those that are still important to us. If you spotted the invitation in the email newsletter this week to bring an item from your religious background or your current spiritual practice to put on the altar, I invite you to take a turn to come forward and place it here. When you bring it up, without making a big speech or giving a long explanation, please simply name your item, maybe in like 8 words or less, 8 words or fewer in the microphone, so that we can join you in honoring this part of your religious background or your current spiritual practice. Please come forward now.
I'm Cheryl Edelin, and this is the Bible as Literature, which was given to me as a birth present 89 years ago.
I brought a nativity scene.
Oh, can you say that again? We couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry. I have a very quiet voice. I brought a nativity scene.
I'm Randy Becker, and I brought 2 books out of my Universalist Unitarian heritage. One from long ago in many lands, the wisdom tales from all the cultures of the world, and the other a book called The Great Dissenters.
I am Nancy Hershatter, and I left mine home, but it's a Star of David with a gorgeous sailboat inscribed in the middle and blue water all around it. And it's a beautiful little pendant that I wear sometimes. You'll have to imagine it.
We can imagine anything we want on our altar. Anybody who didn't bring something who would like to place something symbolically on the altar through imagination.
I did not read the email, which is sad, but I would have brought my grandmother's rosary. So. And this is a big ball of nothing because I'm an atheist.
I did not bring anything. I grew up Jewish. However, I didn't go to temple. My mother didn't. My father went on high holy days, and I didn't do much about it. But there was a plaque on a hallway in our house, and I would read it, and I asked my mother about it. What is that? And she said, that's the 10 Commandments. And for me, that's what became the religion. I would read it quite often and thought it made a lot of sense.
In our congregation, we usually refer to what happens in this room on Sunday mornings as simply a service. But in many Unitarian Universalist congregations, it is called a worship service. Worship comes from an Old English word meaning worth or worthiness. We come together on Sundays to draw our attention to all that has worth, all that is important. Here, what is considered important includes diversity, equity, and inclusion. This has worth. This is beautiful.
Though we've sung this song many times, this morning we're going to take time to go through all three of the lines. So we'll go through all three of the lines independently, and then we'll keep going through it a few more times, and you can choose whichever line resonates with you. When we sing it together, it'll make beautiful harmony. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. So that's one of the lines that you can sing. Here's the second one. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. Let's do that again. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. And then the third one is simple. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So this time around, you can choose any one of those three lines, and we'll sing it all together. When I breathe in, when I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love.
These words of meditation are by the Unitarian Universalist minister Nancy Schaefer. Because she wanted everyone to feel included in her prayer, she said right at the beginning several names for the holy. Spirit, she said, Holy One, Mystery, God. But then, thinking these weren't enough ways of addressing that which cannot be fully addressed, she added particularities, saying, Spirit of life, Spirit of love, Ancient Holy One, mystery we will not ever fully know, gracious God, and also Spirit of this earth, God of Sarah, Gaia, Thou. And then, tongue loosened, she fell to naming superlatives as well. Most creative one, greatest source, closest hope. Even though superlatives for the sacred seemed to her probably redundant. But then she couldn't stop. One who made the stars, she said, although she knew technically a number of those present didn't believe the stars had been made by anyone or thing, but luckily just happened. One who is an entire ocean of compassion, she said, and no one laughed. That which has been present since before the beginning, she said, and the room was silent. Then, although she hadn't imagined it this way, others began to offer names. Peace, said one. One my mother knew, said another. Ancestor, said a third. Wind, rain, breath, said one near the back. Refuge, that which holds all. A child said, water. Someone said, Kuan Yin. Then, womb, witness, great kindness, great eagle, eternal stillness. And then there wasn't a need to say any of the things she thought would be important to say. And everyone sat hushed until someone said, Amen. I invite you, if you wish, to join me in putting your hand on your heart and resting in warm connection. May compassion flow from these hearts into all the places it is needed inside ourselves and in this room and out into the world around us. With compassion flowing, let's take time for the joys and sorrows of our lives. If you have a joy or sorrow that you wish to acknowledge but not share aloud, I invite you to come forward and drop a stone in the bowl of water on the chancel table to represent this milestone, where its ripples can be witnessed without having been spoken. And for the at some point or another, there will almost always be someone in the room who says something like, well, we're all worshiping God in our own way. They mean this as a joyful way of saying, I respect you and what you're doing in your work. And I think what I'm doing is not so different from what you're doing. It's meant to be a kind and connecting thing to say. But I always find this creates a disconnection because it hides important differences. When we hide differences, we also hide parts of who we are. And that makes it hard to be there for one another. For example, as a Unitarian Universalist minister, I know that some of the people I serve are not worshiping any God. And even though I have different beliefs, I respect that. So when a clergy person from another religion says we're all worshiping God in our own way, it means they don't know some important things about who we Unitarian Universalists are as a community. Being diverse is not the same thing as pluralism. Diversity just means that we're in a community where we have differences. Pluralism means that we choose to learn about and embrace our differences without trying to make them about something we have in common. It means we say, you don't have to hide the parts about yourself that we don't share. It means we get to be more whole people. And side note, this is not to say that we embrace all opinions, all ideas, all beliefs, all differences. It's a myth that Unitarian Universalists can believe anything we want. The paradox of tolerance is that if we tolerate the intolerant, we're no longer a tolerant community. So we do set limits, even as we celebrate pluralism, because doing so makes pluralism possible. We're living in a time when pluralism is under threat as intolerance and totalitarianism is on the rise around the world. It may seem small, but creating communities in which people can join together with others so they're not alone, while still remaining whole and not hiding themselves, is an important part of the work ahead. In a little while, we're going to, when we get to our closing hymn, we're going to sing a song of accompaniment, a song about joining with others in hard things, even when they're experiencing things that we're not. It's a protest song used often in the Poor People's Campaign. It's adapted from a piece by Eric Bogle, a Scottish singer-songwriter living in Australia. It's about the role of music in the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa. Apartheid was a government that separated people based on racial differences. It's about, the song is going to be about singing to others when things get hard. We won't all have the same experiences in the months and years ahead, but we can still be there for one another, each showing up in our own unique ways and being acknowledged for who we are. It is good to be together.
And that was under 4 minutes. So will this be. Our congregation is a pluralistic community with membership open to all who resonate with our values, our mission, and our vision. We are entirely self-governed by democratic process. One of the privileges of this free fellowship tradition is to provide support for all of our ministries from among ourselves. You are now invited to participate in the blessing of giving toward this end. Greeters will come around to take up your offering of financial gifts. At the same time, the children will come around to collect your donations of non-perishable food for the Dorothy Day Hospitality House. You may also send financial contributions by mail to UUCD at 24 Clapboard Ridge Road in Danbury. Thank you for your generosity.
Okay, before we close out today, we're going to try a spiritual practice of listening, which is an important part of celebrating differences. We'll practice first by listening to the sound of a bell. If hearing is a sense that you use, I invite you to raise your hand when you hear the bell and lower your hand when you can no longer hear the sound. And if hearing is not a sense you use, I invite you to instead practice another kind of presence by focusing on something visual in the room or a sensation of touch until all hands are lowered and I begin to speak again. Now let's practice listening to our hearts. I'll hold 2 minutes of silence, and during this time, see if you can get in touch with one of your own deep beliefs. It can be something you believe about people, something you believe about the earth, something you believe about the divine. You decide. This time, when I ring the bell, it will be to end the silence, and our silence begins now. Finally, let's practice listening to one another share a little bit about our deep beliefs. If you feel comfortable doing so, find another person near you, take turns sharing uninterrupted for a minute or two about something you believe. I'll ring the bell at 2 minutes so you can switch who is sharing. Then I'll ring the bell at 4 minutes so we can wrap up and come back together to the big group. If you wish to share and appear at this time, please raise your hand so you can match up with someone else who wants to share. And anyone who doesn't want to participate can simply keep their hand down. Oh. Week to share something about what you believe with others or to listen deeply to what they believe.
Deep breath. Please join me in the words for extinguishing our chalice. They will be on the screen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world until we are together again.
All right, for our song of celebration, congregational singing is a team sport, contrary to what some of you believe. So I'm going to teach you a little something. It requires all of you to get all the way in this song with me, though. So the first thing we're going to do, you're just going to repeat after me right away. I'm going to sing, courage, courage, my friend. My friend. Beautiful. Let's do that again. Courage, my friend. My friend. And then we all together sing, you do not go alone. Sing with me. You do not go alone. Courage, courage, my friend. My friend. You do not go alone. Listen for it. We will go with you. Go with you. And sing your spirit home. You've got the idea. Stand up if you're able. Let's sing together. Courage, courage, my friend. My friend. You do not go alone. We will go with you. Go with you. And sing your spirit home. Presence, my friend. My friend. You do not go alone. We will go with you. Go with you. And sing your spirit home. Freedom, my friend. My friend. You do not go alone. We will go with you. And sing your spirit home. Patience, my friend. You do not go alone. We will go with you. And sing your spirit home. Justice, my friend. You do not go alone. We will go with you. And sing your spirit
courage, my friend. You do not go alone. Go in peace, and may you know yourself as held in love in all the uniqueness of who you are, today and on all days. So may it be.